Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. Here's what we have in the bulletin. Differing views on entertainment events banned for the festive season from two St. Catherine mayors. Police Federation yet to meet with Finance Ministry over wage negotiations. And later in sports, the Reggae Boys' next away game against Panama next month will be played without spectators. I'm Shane Masters and here are the details. The World Health Organization is warning that there could be an increase in hospitalizations as the Omicron variant continues to spread globally. To date, the WHO says some 77 countries have reported cases of the Omicron variant. There is also concern that the new variant is more transmissible than the Delta strain. The WHO's technical lead on the coronavirus response, Dr. Maria Van Kerkhove, provided an update on the severity of the respiratory illness.
Spectrum of disease, everything from asymptomatic infection, mild infection, people needing hospitalization, and people have died from Omicron. We do have initial reports that suggest that Omicron is less severe compared to Delta. However, if we have more cases mean more hospitalizations. And if a healthcare system is overburdened, people will die because they won't get the appropriate care that they need. So it's early to tell whether or not Omicron is more or less severe.
Despite that fact, a word of caution.
Don't be fooled. Even if we have a virus that causes less severe disease, this virus can affect vulnerable populations. And we know people with underlying conditions, people of advanced age, if they are infected with any variant of SARS-CoV-2, including Omicron, they are at an increased risk of developing severe disease. So it is really critical that even if we do see more mild disease, we still do everything that we can to reduce transmission in all populations, people who are vaccinated as well as people who are not vaccinated.
Mayor of Portmore, Leon Thomas, agrees with the government's decision to continue the restriction on entertainment events. Mr. Thomas says with the threat of Omicron variant, the ban is needed to protect citizens. Sandra Williams reports.
A tree lighting service at the Climate Change Park in Portmore, St. Catherine. It's probably the closest thing to an entertainment event the people of Portmore will get to enjoy for the Christmas season. This as the ban on the entertainment sector remains in effect for the period. The entertainment sector was ordered closed in March 2020 as a result of the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, but was reopened for a short period between July and August 2020. However, a surge in COVID-19 cases forced the sector to close again. On Tuesday, local government minister Desmond McKenzie said municipal corporations and the police will not be issuing any permits for the staging of events during the festive season. But residents do not agree with that decision.
We have this big old park here, just park up like this. No enjoyment, no entertainment for the children. They should have something here for the children for play, for them enjoy. We have the parents one side and the kids them one side playing. You understand what I say? We can't just have this park just big and bare like that. Give us something out of the park. But we can't say yes. Why? That year there's something happened and it was nice. Make we have something to remember.
Mayor of Portmore, Leon Thomas, says he supports the ban on entertainment events.
Based on the pandemic and what is happening and even the new variants that are coming out, I am not in support of anything like that at this moment. Because one, we have to take care of our citizens. And with that announcement, we have to just adhere to it because we want to get over it and get back to normalcy. And I support it.
Meanwhile, despite an increase in robberies and shootings in Portmore in recent weeks, he hopes the tree lighting will bring some hope to the Sunshine City.
I am very much concerned about what is happening because we have received report that people are going to the bank and when they are leaving the bank, they are trailed, and sometimes when they don't have any vehicle at all, on their way to the bank, to the bus stop, they are robbed. The police is aware of it, and I know that the police have put some measures in place to take care of that situation in Portmore. And I am hoping that this love and laughter will also spread throughout the community and we don't have any major crime and violence anymore in Portmore.
Sandy Williams, TVJ News.
Meanwhile, on the other side of St. Catherine, Spanish Town Mayor Norman Scott has added his voice to the calls for the government to allow the resumption of entertainment events. In an interview with TVJ News, Mr. Scott chided the government for its handling of the matter.
Some form of entertainment so that persons would have been able to have some form of entertainment events, granting the protocols to be observed and to be followed.
He says there are venues which could be used to accommodate individuals while maintaining COVID-19 protocols.
You're going to be issuing permits. You would only issue permits to the venues that can accommodate the kind of event that you are going to be allowing. You allow an event for 50 people, the venue should be able to accommodate 50 people with the protocols being observed.
The Police Federation says it is prepared to go the extra mile to secure a livable wage increase for rank-and-file members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force. Herman Green has more.
In September, the Police Federation rejected the government's 4% increased wage offer, with Chairman Corporal Rowan James describing the offer as an insult. He explained that it would amount to a monthly increase of $2,801.74 for a constable. The Police Federation says it is still awaiting a meeting with the government.
We will not in any way entertain any dictatorial approach and for the government to impose upon the salaries of the men and women of the constabulary force rank and file cohort without us agreeing to the terms and conditionality. If that is done, we are prepared to report the issue to the International Labour Organization.
Corporal James says the police are owed more than $40 billion in arrears. Now, despite the government's fiscal constraints, the Police Federation remains adamant that their monies be paid to them. There's also a push for the government to pay officers who are not actively serving who were also owed monies.
We are not prepared to squander what is our duly entitled earnings. This is salary we're speaking about. We are not asking them for a handout, so that aspect of it, whilst we continue to give the service to the country, it is expected that the government, our employer, who the people of Jamaica expects to demonstrate the highest level of fiduciary responsibility, will discharge its function in the interest of the people of the country.
Herman Green, TVJ.
The Woodside community in Clarendon is now tense following the shooting death of a woman Thursday night. She has been identified as 55-year-old Marlene Stewart. It's reported that sometime after 8 o'clock, Ms. Stewart returned from work, and shortly after, explosions were heard. The police were called. Ms. Stewart's body was found with bullet wounds. Woodside is now tense as the adjoining Havana Heights community has recorded a series of shootings. The most recent was Tuesday when a family of 4 was shot. One of the victims later died. 2 children remain in hospital. And it's now time for a break. Stay with us. More stories when we return. Welcome back to the Midday News. President of the Jamaica Agricultural Society, Lenworth Fulton, is calling for more local fertilizers to be used in crop production to lessen the cost on farmers. His comment comes following increased complaints from farmers that the price is too high for the imported product. More in this report. Agricultural production continues to be a big money spender for many families across the island, especially in getting the best yields through the use of fertilizers. In September, Agriculture Minister Audley Shaw said his ministry had allocated $100 million to help farmers purchase fertilizer. But President of the Jamaica Agricultural Society, JAS, Lenworth Fulton, says that's still not enough.
Subsidy can go thus far and no more, because it means that the more subsidy you give there, you would have to cut back on health care and education and security. So it has its limitation. The fertilizer price is elevated worldwide. Urea is up nearly 100%, and it is scarce. It's a petroleum product, and other fertilizer from other sources are also expensive because it takes energy to produce the fertilizer, a lot of energy. And the energy cost is elevated worldwide, including here. So we have a problem.
His suggestion is to use organic fertilizers, which can be made locally.
There are good company here that is making organic fertilizer. And organic fertilizer use local material and hire local labor. So we could start to integrate some organic fertilizer. And it's a good method to mix the inorganic that you see selling in the bags in the farm stores all over with the organic.
As to making that move, he says it will have to be driven by a policy directive from the Agriculture Ministry.
I have already written to the minister and have had discussion with him on it, and he was quite receptive. But like everything else, it takes a time to get the policy and these things into action and product. So I sincerely hope that the minister will continue to look on that option.
And it's now time for the Business Minute. Part owner of Jamalco in Clarendon, commodity trader Noble Group, is reportedly seeking to start discussions about a new debt restructuring. Bloomberg says it was informed by people with knowledge of the matter. The matter comes just 3 years after the Hong Kong-based Noble emerged from its last multi-billion-dollar debt restructuring. It converted much of its debt to equity and handed control to a group of hedge fund creditors. Once Asia's largest commodity trader with a market value of more than $10 billion, Noble was forced to restructure in 2018 after years of losses and accusations of improper accounting, which the company has denied. Noble has still struggled to make money. In its most recent financial results, it said it lost $72 million in the 9 months to September 30. According to its accounts, the company had $1.6 billion in debt. Keith Duncan has been re-elected president of the Private Sector Organization of Jamaica, PSOJ. At a meeting held yesterday, Mr. Duncan was returned for a third term, making him the first president to serve in the role for more than 2 consecutive years. This was allowed through an amendment to the PSOJ's Articles of Incorporation on December 7. And that's it for the Business Minute this week. With the top regional and international stories, here's Sandy Williams.
In regional news, the Antigua and Barbuda Parliament has approved the lifting of the state of emergency, SOE, and curfew, which had been put in place since March last year to curb the spread of the COVID-19 pandemic. 117 people have died from the virus and 4,178 others infected since March 2020. Prime Minister Gaston Brown told legislators that while the SOE and curfew will be lifted on December 24, the measures could be reversed if the need arises. On the international scene, a popular tourist island is among areas left devastated after a powerful typhoon ripped through the southern Philippines on Thursday. Super Typhoon Ray made landfall on the holiday island of Sargo, bringing winds of about 120 miles per hour and heavy rainfall. The tropical storm has leveled homes on the island along its path, displacing hundreds of thousands of people. According to officials, the main airport terminal has been damaged, but the runway is clear for relief operations. The United Nations says some 13 million people have been affected. So far, 12 people are confirmed dead. And those were the top regional and international stories. I'm Sandy Williams.
We head to a quick break. When we come back, we'll have your Midday Sports Report. Simon Preston is here.
Welcome back. It's now time for Midday Sports. I'm Simon Preston. The Reggae Boys' next away game against Panama next month will be played without spectators. The Panamanian Football Federation have received this punishment from FIFA for homophobic chants made by fans in September against Mexico. The Panamanian Federation also received a 50,000 Swiss franc fine from FIFA. The Reggae Boys will play Panama on January 30 in Panama City. This match is after their home clash with Mexico on January 27 before welcoming Costa Rica to the office on February 2. The Reggae Boys have been unbeaten on Central American soil in the World Cup qualifying cycle after drawing to Costa Rica 1-1, beating Honduras 2-0 and drawing 1-1 with El Salvador. Reggae boy Javan East and his Costa Rican club Santos de Guapiles have been drawn to face Major League Soccer side New York City FC in the round of 16 of the CONCACAF Champions League. The draw took place on Wednesday, which will see East and Santos de Guapiles hosting the first leg on February 15 before travelling to the United States for the return leg on February 22. The 26-year-old has netted 5 goals in 19 appearances this season for his club. Back locally now, as 2019 Manning Cup winners Jamaica College will face 2019 Walker Cup champions at St. Catherine High in the quarter-final round of the Manning Cup this afternoon. JC are at the top of Group 1 on 6 points, while St. Catherine are at the foot of the table without a point. Kickoff is at 3 o'clock. In the other group game at 3, St. Andrew Technical will battle Mona High for a semi-final spot. Over in the Da Costa Cup, the first 2 semi-finalists will be decided this afternoon. 2019 beaten finalists Dintil Technical, who have been unbeaten throughout the competition, will battle Edwin Allen in their Group 1 top-of-the-table quarter-final match at Manchester High. Both teams are on 6 points, with Dintil atop the group on goal difference. Match time is 3 p.m. William Knibb will face off with Christiana High in the other group match. Over in Group 2, leaders Mannings High will clash with second-placed Monroe College at St. Elizabeth Technical at 3 p.m. in their quarter-final contest, with the winner taking group honours and a place in the semi-finals. Mannings, who are group leaders on 6 points, need only a draw to advance ahead of Monroe, who are on 4 points. Victory for Monroe will see them advance. Before that, Vere Technical will face off with Happy Grove at 1 o'clock. Only the group winner will advance to the semi-finals. Down under we go now, as England reached 17 for 2 at stumps in their first innings reply against Australia on day 2 of the second Ashes test in Adelaide. They trailed by 456 runs. Earlier, Australia posted 473 for 9 declared in their first innings after resuming on 221 for 2. Marnus Labuschagne carried to 103 from his overnight 95, while fellow overnight batsman and stand-in captain Steve Smith made 95 after resuming on 18. Alex Carey also made 51. Ben Stokes took 3 for 113 for England. Australia leads the 5-match series 1-0. And that is it for your Midday Sports Report. I'm Simon Preston. Ashane, it is over to you.
Thanks, Simon. Just before we go, though, the schoolboy football competition is coming to a close now. Your predictions for the finals, though, but also your analysis of the matches before.
Yes, we're happy that we can actually see schoolboy football again after a 2-year hiatus. Over in the Manning Cup, Kingston College and Jamaica College, those are the teams that we can look out for. And of course, in the Da Costa Cup competition, Clarendon College is a team to keep a really, really close eye on. The defending champions, they really have a point to prove.
What about Dintil Technical?
They have a chance, they really have a stern chance, but the depth of the Clarendon College team really gives them that edge over Dintil at this point.
All right, thanks, Simon. And that's the Midday News for this week. I'm Shane Masters. Join us at 7 for primetime news. On behalf of the news, sports and production teams, good afternoon.